Hello, welcome back. It's nice to see you. Welcome to MF and the Girl. If this is your first time, this will be great. If it's not, then you know what you're going to expect and what you're going to get. So it will be good. So, with the hello in place.
Hello.
No. Hello, girl. Mr. Fantastic. I'm going to give up. I really will. I have to give up at some point.
I win.
Hey, girl. What are we talking about today?
Well, today we're talking about the third party at the table. This is Nancy.
Hello, Nancy.
Nancy is my walker. And the reason for Nancy is I've got MS. Drum roll.
Well,
And today we're talking about...
well, wait. So, you're really good with what you have. I mean, that was a very lighthearted introduction because you've had it for a while.
It has been probably around 13 years.
Yes.
It has been a long time.
So you have the right to talk about it and to joke about it a bit.
I can joke. He tries to make jokes. He fails.
I succeed like nobody else.
He succeeds a good 80% of the time. Like 75% of the time, you are on it.
Thank you.
At least 50%.
Wait. Anyways, what I said is that was a very sort of frivolous approach, but it's a much more serious thing, right?
Yes, it is. And
Yes,
it is. And in honor of today's topic, I am wearing my MS awareness shirt because sometimes I'm not aware I have MS. So I need a shirt to remind me.
Now, So when we thought of this topic, like, we don't actually practice this in advance, okay? But we do know what the topic is and maybe one or two of the points we want to cover. So...
We do know I have MS.
Yes, we did know you have MS. Okay, so what we're doing today is sort of introducing your symptoms that you had and what the terrible process was to get diagnosed. And then we're going to skip a whole bunch and just sort of be like, where are we at now?
That's right.
Because this could take more than one. So we're just going to keep it tight to introduce the fact why Nancy is always in the shots and before that a cane. Mm-hmm. And, why that is important to us to be here.
Okay.
Is that right?
That is right.
Okay. So that is most of the planning we've had with this. The rest of this is just going to be like wherever Curl wants to take it. So let's see.
So MS is known as a snowflake disease because everybody has different symptoms. Everyone's experiences are different.
So when you mean snowflake, you mean like that old saying that every snowflake in the world is unique and different in how it looks. No two snowflakes look the same.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
So when every parent thinks that their child is a snowflake, I'm actually a snowflake.
I believe the terminology may be used differently nowadays, but let's keep going on.
So getting into our time machine, going back about 13 years.
Yes.
I one day had a feeling of cold in my leg. And it was just kind of a joke to begin with. It was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I feel like my leg is in ice water.
That's a descriptor, actually. You gave that to me. You felt like, not that it was cold.
That my leg was in a bucket of cold water. And I had just thought maybe I had pinched a nerve or something. So I went to a chiropractor. And bless her heart, she tried 2 or 3 sessions and said, I'm out. I don't know what the problem is. It's not a pinched nerve. I think you should get an MRI because maybe it's MS. This is the first time anyone mentioned MS. And of course, being younger, I thought, that couldn't happen to me. So, going back, we're actually going forward, but the time that
Sure, I understand. Keep going.
the time machine has moved us forward a little bit, but we're still in the past. So
We're still dealing with, just call it 13 years ago diagnosis and symptoms.
We're talking about
Okay.
symptoms.
Okay.
So I continued to have this feeling, and then my vision was a little wonky, like looking through water. It wasn't all the time, but it was off. So I had gone to an optometrist where he had said, I don't know what's going on. I think it's this disease, but only men get it. So I was the girl with a man disease. Probably not the first time people have thought that about me.
Yeah, but when they said you have a man disease, they were referring to me.
This is my diseased man.
Who in their right mind would pick up me? Anyways,
So he sent me to an ophthalmologist because I am now collecting specialists. And of course, by that time, my vision had corrected. And he's like, I don't know why you're here. Nothing wrong. Off you go. Mm-hmm. So I was sent away. And then I still had that feeling of cold in my leg. So I went to a doctor. This is why you never go to a doctor with a grocery list of issues, because of the things I had mentioned. She had glommed onto depression. So she upped my happy pills.
well, I think one of the things doctors want to do is everybody wants to solve. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to say, I've done a better job for that person. Mm-hmm. So for that doctor, she said, oh, here is an object that I can resolve. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the problem with the shopping list. It's easy to present a lot of things, and people want to do good.
Yeah.
And so they help solve one of the pieces. In this case, they said, oh, your issues are just
in my head. Which they kind of were.
Yes, literally.
In my spinal cord too.
Yes.
But so happy pills were upped, which just made me not worry about my leg being cold.
So it's true, your leg went away for a while for being cold because you just weren't, it was like, okay, it's there, but who cares?
Oh, it was there, but I did not care.
Okay.
So even forward, going from there,
Yep.
I had another doctor who said, oh, your leg is cold, and now your other leg is cold. I think it's something in your back. So she gave me muscle relaxants. So I was really happy. I was a little loopy on muscle relaxants, and I did not care about my legs. Until one day, foot drop happened. Now, a foot drop, for anyone who doesn't know, is instead of walking and putting your heel down and your toe when you're walking, your foot just drops.
If I was to describe it, and it happens as it progresses, and we've seen it progress. Mm-hmm. What it is the inability to lift, right? So, like your foot stops lifting, and then your heel stops lifting, and then your knee stops lifting, and then the rest, like, it's like you lose the ability to lift. So going upstairs, there's no bend in the knee and stuff. It's just trying to lift across. So the first sign of that is a foot drop, because that's where your inability to lift starts, and then it starts to work all its way up. You just can't lift. You look like this is confusing.
That's a good general description.
So I will say here, an interesting point. This story is, and I don't want to ever take away from this story is uniquely girls. Like, she is the one that can deliver it. So my comments are from an observation, from being with her this many years, to keep on track or to add some depth, but it is uniquely your story. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was like, this is what I see and experience for how you describe foot drop for other people to see. It's just that you stop having the ability to lift, and it sort of starts at the toes and just works its way up.
Yeah. So foot drop comes in. And going back to the chiropractor, she said, but if you get the foot drop, go see a doctor. So I went to a doctor, and this one, she had an idea. She had an inkling. So I got my first MRI. First of many. I'm pretty sure if I fill out my card, I will get a free sub. So I had my first MRI, and this is my favorite part. By that time, I was feeling better. So I had my MRI, didn't feel a thing, didn't care about the results. It was like, oh yeah, that thing that I had, well, it's passed. Until the doctor's office kept calling me to get my results. When they call you to come and get your results many times, they mean business. So
Yes.
I sprained my ankle, and I went into the doctor's office and said, I sprained my ankle, and oh yeah, I've got MRI results. And the doctor said, oh, let me get you some crutches for that ankle, and I'll be right back with your results.
What was that?
That was me going.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
That means when the doctor returned, she had forgotten the crutches and said, oh, it looks like you have MS, but don't worry, there's different kinds.
Oh, it's like different flavors.
Yeah.
Can I have the chocolate or the vanilla or
Yeah,
the
slower.
Neapolitan?
Yeah, slow or fast.
Slower. That's it. That's what she said. Yes.
No, she said, don't worry, there's different kinds, and I'm sending you to a neurologist.
Okay.
So, fast forward, we've got another month. This time, there's been about 9 months that have passed since the beginning of these symptoms.
Yes.
And I went to the neurologist, and he said, that's weird. That doesn't match what your symptoms are. Let's let it go for a few months. And we'll do another MRI, getting closer on that punch card to my free sub. And he sent me for another MRI.
So again, I would say they want to be right. They don't want to give you the wrong things. We've already identified the fact that MS manifests itself in people differently with different symptoms. And so although you are with the neurologist, and the neurologist isn't saying, go away out of my life. The neurologist is saying,
I think it's MS, but we'll give it a few months.
Okay.
And see. And we'll get another MRI.
So doubts the diagnosis by the previous doctor, looking for additional confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we waited for about 6 more months for that other MRI.
It was a long time.
And this time the MRI, he had done the full skull and the spine, and the previous doctor had only done the skull. And that's when it came back, oh yes, you've got MS.
So one of the reasons why they do the MRIs is what they're looking for is spots of inflammation. Inflammation, thank you. And if they're active. So they will show up on an MRI as spots.
Like Christmas lights.
Like Christmas lights is actually the term I've heard from her doctors.
Yep.
And so the MRI comes back and there is unusual activity in spots, so centralized points of inflammation that the body is literally attacking and trying to do something about.
So the Christmas lights showed up on my spine, and what MS is your immune system is going wild and attacking the myelin, which is the fatty sheath that covers your nerves. And your brain and your spine send these messages to walk, to lift your hands, to do whatever. And these spots make that message harder to pass.
So to be as simple as I can, I'm probably wrong. When you do something, your brain sends the signal through the neurons as a path. The neurons are connected by little pathways, which are covered in your myelin sheathing. This protects them, allows them to regenerate and grow. But the MS attacks that myelin sheathing, which means the connection between the two neurons and the multiple neurons, there's a whole bunch, breaks down, and that signal fails to work correctly.
That's pretty good synopsis.
It's like trying to go from house A to B, but they've taken the road out, and your car has a big bumpy path, and it's slower and it's harder, and sometimes you don't get there, and sometimes you go sideways. Anyways, keep going. All right.
So anyway, I was prescribed a drug that could only be done by injection. So I took injections every day for about 3 or 4 years.
So you finally were, with the story that we're talking about, you were finally diagnosed.
I was finally diagnosed.
And
he saw the cord, he saw the Christmas lights. He put me on a medication where I got to inject myself every day for multiple years.
And the status when you're first diagnosed is usually called what?
So my initial diagnosis was relapsing remitting MS.
Okay.
So like I said, there's multiple kinds. There's progressive, there is relapsing remitting, there is secondary progressive, there's something else that I can never remember.
So describe yours. What does yours mean at that point?
So initially, relapsing remitting means that you never know when MS is going to flare. There's things that will trigger it. There will be heat. There will be stress. There will be an R in the day of the week. Anything can trigger it.
And then you go through a phase where it's highly disabilitating.
Where all of my symptoms just flare up.
Okay.
So
we're going to, for timing, identify that you've been diagnosed, but we don't want to leave people in the blank, but we might cover that middle area at another time. Where are you right now?
So right.
Other than at this table with me, the one you love.
And Nancy.
Is it me or is it Nancy?
You are the one that I love.
Okay, I was a little concerned about that.
And this is Nancy.
And this is Nancy. Okay, at this table. So where are we at right now? Not being overly specific like that.
So I have gone into what is called secondary progressive.
Yeah.
And that means it's all downhill from here. And 70 to 80% of people that start off with relapsing remitting MS do go into secondary. So my walking has definitely gotten worse. My balance has really gotten bad, hence Nancy and Rico, but he's not here right now.
Rico is another walker, slightly different design.
Yes. Rico is the tough guy of the family.
Okay.
And now it's, who knows where it's going to go from here.
So you use a walker, though, constantly.
I use a walker constantly because of my balance issues, because I tend to fall. I need a helmet. I need bubble wrap. If there is a hamster ball big enough, I need all of these things. But for now, we've got Nancy.
Yeah. I when things continue on and you see this and you live with somebody with MS and they say, I need bubble wrap or I need a hamster ball, part of you wants to laugh and say, yep, that would be awesome, because at some stage in this process that's been going on for 13 years, from diagnosis, the start of it, the only thing that you can do at the moment is really laugh at it, because there's no other, you've gone through all the other phases of the process. And so all you can do is laugh at the absurdity of that it exists and it keeps harming and it keeps hurting. So I don't mean to make light of it, but it's funny that you would say bubble wrap, because that's a cool picture of who you are.
He's imagining me wrapped in bubble wrap.
I am imagining you wrapped in bubble wrap.
And this just went in a whole new direction.
So
This is fried green tomatoes territory.
we should allow
We should probably wrap this up.
in bubble wrap.
Wrap it in bubble wrap.
We should wrap this up in bubble wrap. Okay, so that's the introduction to why Nancy is in the shop, because it's important. Nancy represents a part of this conversation, an unsaid part of this conversation.
Nancy is the third party at the table. Nancy is the redheaded stepchild who is at the table. He's a little bit worried about the redheaded stepchild.
If you're redheaded, please do not take this as a personal slight. Or a stepchild. Or a redhead stepchild. All right, let's so thank you for watching. Are you good? Is there something you want to close at? This is really this is your story. So instead of rushing it, is there something you want to close on?
This is my story today. Tomorrow could be different. That is the joy of a chronic illness. Every day is different. Maybe we'll go back to other parts at another time, but right now, I just wanted to tell you my story.
Are you good? Anything else?
No.
At this time?
I'm good.
Would you ever be interested in revisiting different parts of your story?
Yeah.
Okay, but not right away.
No.
Okay. Do you want to start off saying goodbye then? Because I want to make sure that if there's anything else that you have to say, I don't want to cut you off. So why don't you start off with when you think you're ready and you can say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for visiting. Like.
Subscribe.
Share.
Send it to people.
That's sharing.
Yeah, that's the definition of sharing.
Yes. And thank you for watching.
Bye.